What up, cappers, gamblers, punters, hustlers, low baggers? Happy Tuesday, June 8th to all of you. Thank you for watching Betting with the Bag right here on Pub Sports Radio. What a glorious week we just had. Huge run in MLB. We've hit 19 of our last 21 MLB bets now. NHL's got me right in the drink hole. And NBA has been a slight improvement, but I've been quite hesitant to lock in action. So it's not all glory. But what a fun day on Saturday. Belmont Stakes. Incredible card at Belmont. And the boys put together a pick six, 2-day pick six. It cost $1,080, so $90 each. Paid out 12 guys, paid out $7,200 and like something. And that saved my day. I went on a nice late run though. Heavily intoxicated at Golden Gate, Santa Anita late, which helped me very much. But so much fun capping with everybody. And then I shut down. Sunday, Monday, I completely took off, and I am refreshed, ready to rock. I am still growing the playoff beard for the Colorado Avalanche. I'm very concerned about tonight's Game 5. I'm excited to have Mr. Gogster as our special guest on the show. But the most important part of the day for me is two things. One is celebration, and one is a time where we need to come together for a low bagger who's in a tough time right now. So let's start with everybody giving our love out to Marlon. Marlon Z, who's a big part of our energy. He's such an exciting capper, and his energy is just, it's contagious. He's so much fun to cap with. His family's going through a very, very, very tough time right now. And Marlon is in the hospital, improving, getting better after COVID. But it's really hit the family very, very, very hard. And if we could just send out as much love to the Marlon Z family, and if you can reach out to him on Twitter and let him know that we're thinking about him and that we're sending him all the love and strength that we possibly can. Because we have a brother down right now, and he needs just any kind of energy that we can send his way, any kind of positivity. So let's get that out, that our man Marlon needs us right now. And then let's talk about something that is a celebration. Spenny Penny Bombs turning 27 years old today. Man, that was right in the middle of a falling apart time. My life, man. Couldn't pay tax bills on some big years from 23 to 25. See, Spenny's cashing nonstop in the horses. Spenny's fine. Myself at 27, government shut down my bank account. It was some tough times. Had to go to Money Marts. God. When you're in line at a Money Mart, something's gone terribly wrong. But not for Spenny Penny Bombs. Happy birthday, Spenny Penny. And thank you for joining with us. Yes, let's have a monster day. Shout out to everybody joining us right now. Nilo in the house. Jimmy, let's roll. Marco Lou, the announcement should be made today. We should be announcing it today. I expect that we will be making a major announcement today. Jacksonville Zoe ready to get to work. There's Matty Ice, star of the Taint play of the day. Fat win. Canterbury Park Race 6, number 9, Canadian Spice. I love Fap Win when he shares this stuff with us. Let's copy and paste that. Fap Win. Lock that in. Here we go. Locked in. Thank you, Fap, my friend. Razor Sharp picks in the house. Going for 7 winning days in a row. Haven't lost this month. Yeah, I love it. Razor's just an absolute monster. Absolutely love that Razor. Puzzler in the house. David Summers ready to get to work. David, great to see you. Sharpie, we have the Dirty K prop of the day. So let's copy and paste that. And in celebration, well, let's first put it over the game. It's the Cleveland game. Dirty K prop of the day. Where is that Indians game? Sorry. For some reason, I feel like it's like an 8:05 start, isn't it? 8:10. There we go. Cleveland, St. Louis. Dirty K prop of the day in celebration of David Sharp's very, very hard work. Jose on the ones and twos has put something special together for you. Jose, my friend, can you pop it off? David Sharp's Dirty K prop of the day. I think we might add a pair of titties in the graphics there. But, yeah, somewhere maybe behind the garbage can. But spectacular work from our Jose. There it is for our Dirty K prop created by David Sharp. He's on Bieber over 7.5 Ks at -133. We will break down that spot and go over it. But thank you so much for sharing your hard work with us. All right, time to get to work. Thank you guys all for joining us. Last 45 says basking in the glorious Habs victory last night. There's something special going on with this team. One bet tonight. Avs Vegas over 5.5 -105. Happy birthday, Spencer. I like that look. Slatsy was talking to me about that look as well. I like it quite a bit. There's my guy Guillermo Zertucci in the house. There's Dennis Garcia. Says, can't possibly. Okay, don't worry. We'll get you back right. And you don't need us. You're a spectacular capper. It ebbs and flows. There's Ricky Bobby ready to eat. Marco Lou. Okay. And Spenny liking that over 5.5 as well. Patrick Peebles ready to go. Who banging a sports talk? Ready to eat, says he hollered. Oh God, I wish you guys were rolling together. We got to get you on the show. And Marco Lou says it's sponsored by Manscaped. Yes, definitely sponsored by Manscaped. There's Dutch Boy Fresh, Kevin Riley, Ron Lofton, Jason Albert, J.A. with his action. J.A.'s A's run line. I've already bet that at -105. I like it. White Sox team total over against the lefty. It makes sense. I haven't moved on yet. Dodgers run line, I haven't moved on that either. Jazz first half and first half over. Very exciting stuff, J.A. Thank you so much for sharing with us. There we go, Luke Murphy. And there's Nasty Nate says, my Papa Lochak is the GOAT. Yes, I can't wait to have him back. Fat Wally. And thank you, man. Fat Wally, you're such a good guy, man. All right. North Ending says nothing like the Phillies standing those payday loan lines. Oh God, there's no. That's worse than a crack den. Yeah, that's worse than a crack den / whorehouse at 4 a.m. is at 2 p.m. in a Money Mart line. B-Lab Viper. All right, Paco. Let's get to work, everyone. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Walla Walla Dose. Von Polo says, take Atlanta today. Brotherly Hype. Spenny Penny Bombs. This is his action right there. NHL playoffs team total over for Tampa, +180. Tampa Bay money line over 5.5 parlay. Very, very interesting. And plus 278. Vegas money line +125. Vegas team total over 2 at +115. Wow. That's crazy it'd be that low. That's unbelievable, Spenny. That's the best bet that I've heard all day. 2? You've got to be kidding me. I just got to look at that real quick here. I'm beside myself here. You could get a team total at plus money. Wow. Because I have the over 1.5 at -285. Over 2.5 at +100. Sorry, let me just pop that in here. Over 1.5 at minus. Shit, sorry. -285. Okay, so I have the over 2 at -192. Okay, we'll figure that out. We'll figure that out here in a little bit. But it just sounded too good to be true. Glenn Elliott Man says Habs resting. Hoping Avs go 7. Look, if the Avs could possibly get out of here. I don't know if they could possibly get out. Three-way team total. Spending penny bombs going on the three-way team total. Okay, so 2 is a loss on the three-way team total. Alternative total three-way. Oh, shit, that's not the team total. Sorry. I get it. Team total three-way. Yeah. Wow. It's at +120 now. Interesting. Very, 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 very interesting. Okay, it is time to get to work. There's Jansen Bonds in the house. Jansen, our man Loshak is going to be back very soon. We are going to hopefully be announcing that today. But let's get to work. We are very, very, very hot in MLB. 19 of our last 21. And it all started when we were very cold. So the record isn't incredible. The record is okay. Overall in the season, we're 137 wins, 116 losses. We're up 4.84 units with an ROI plus 1.91%. Average line minus 112. So we're hitting at 54.2%, but the VIG is high. On Friday, we went 5-1. We were an out away from a 6-0 day. We cashed with Brewers first 5 minus a half at minus 135. Dodgers Atlanta over 8.5 minus 120. We lost on the Tampa Bay Texas under 8. A 2-run single made it 5-4 with 2 out in the top of the 9th. Angels first 5 minus a half minus 125 was a casher. Cleveland Baltimore first 5 under 4.5 was a casher. Chicago Cubs San Francisco first 5 over 4.5 was a casher. And Leonard Porsche says, let's not shave the beard of wisdom. I don't know about that. Okay. Oh, and Michael Irvin says also love the race to 3 gold. Oh, to 3, yeah. And taking the Avs. Very, very, very interesting. Yes, Jansen, I'm growing the facial hair out for the Avalanche to catch my futures. And I'm very, very concerned. All right. We are not going to go over this game first. But red alert, taint is in. Red alert, taint play of the day. Astros full game money line at minus 120. Astros full game at minus 120. So let me cut that. It's against the Red Sox. Against Martin Perez. I love it. We just watched Jose's, I don't know what we call it, because I'm his father. So I don't want to say anything too important of a role in my son Jose's life. But he loves his fellow Venezuelan Martin Perez, who's coming off a monster performance. 7 2/3, 6 hits, 0 runs, 1 walk, 4 Ks, and a 5-1 win at the Astros. So the idea here with Matty Ice is the Astros are looking at this soft tossing lefty one more time and they smash lefty side. I think it might be an absolute brilliant look. There's Mr. Gogster. He'll be joining the show soon. And stepfather. Okay, let's get to work. Let's get to work right now. And we're starting off with my first bet. A very interesting market moves here. 7:05 p.m. Eastern, Atlanta Braves, Philadelphia Phillies. Last night, and I knew that I was going to be a little behind the market moves because I didn't start back in, because when I start on Monday night, it's just all of my attention, all of my focus until the Friday show ends is on our action, improving our lives and making money. And I knew I was starting a little late because there was only 3 games on the Monday schedule, so a lot of the action would be in early. I saw the initial market move to the over 8.5 in the Braves Philadelphia Phillies. It was a slight market move, and it made tons of sense to me. Then this morning, I woke up and the market had moved back, so it had gone up to minus 110. It gone up to minus 120. There was even minus 122s out there. And then when I woke up, it was back to minus 110. Money was coming back in on the under, and it scared me. But I still was like, this is the bet. I still believed in it. And I gave it out on Raw Mike Richards' radio show here in Toronto. And then an hour after that, it was back at 9, which makes me feel good that I stuck with it. Don't ask, don't tell, man. This guy so supportive of everything we're doing. We love him so much. He says he loves taint plays like he loves cornbread. Yeah, cornbread. Very good. There it is. Don't ask, don't tell. With his ongoing support, it means so much to us, my friend. Thank you so much. All right, we got Jose on the 1s and 2s. He's going to take over all and God, he does such enormous work, and he makes the show so much better having him rolling with us. So a big shout out to our man Jose on the ones and twos. He'll be handling the comments and other things. Let's get to work. So Braves, Phillies. Braves are 28-29, 11-12 on the road. The Phillies are 28-30, 17-11 at home. We're at Citizens Bank Park. In Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, 82 Fahrenheit, light rain, 7 miles per hour, sideways out to right. We have Drew Smyly versus Aaron Nola. Smyly is 2-3 with a 5.98 ERA, 1.37 whip, 46 2/3, 43 Ks, 16 walks, 14 home runs. In his last start, he went 4 1/3. He allowed 7 hits, 3 earned runs, 1 home run, 2 walks, 6 Ks, and a 5-3 loss at home versus the Nats. And it was not a bad performance from a Nationals team that smashes lefties. And he's looked quite a bit better the last little while. Going up against Aaron Nola, 4-4, 3.84 ERA, 1.17 whip, 70 1/3, 78 Ks, 15 walks, 8 home runs. When I watch Nola pitch right now, I see players waiting on the changeup. Finally. That changeup has been such a menace to MLB batters for the last few years, and it seems like they're starting. I don't know if he's tipping his pitches or what, but the changeup is now being hit. Sharpie says, I was looking at the Smyly K-prop, Phillies versus left-handed pitching being money. I just can't trust Smyly, but Wade Miley just held the Phillies to no runs. Interesting. Glenn Elliman says Smyly is 2.70 home runs per 9 innings, would rank his league's worst if he had enough innings to qualify. Great stats coming in from the guys. Summer says, I like the over 8.5 in Atlanta, Philly. What say you? Matty Ice says, Acuna stolen base prop at plus 290. Acuna has 5 stolen bases in the last 7 days and has 3 career off of Nola. Beautiful spot there. What a great, great look. What a wildly interesting look right there. So, Nola's last start at the Reds. Now, we know the Reds smash righties. 5 innings, 8 hits, 3 earned runs, 1 home run, 2 walk, 2 Ks, and a 17-3 win at Cincinnati. So, not only do the Reds smash righties, but they now lead the league against righties. Both the Reds and the Jays have passed the Dodgers. They're not the only team. Dodgers are now 4th against righties in MLB, but it's all very tight. Braves versus righties, 230, 743 OPS. Phillies versus lefties, 252, 735 OPS. Both bullpens are vulnerable, so no need to focus on the first 5. I would prefer not to double up anything right now while we're this hot. So there's no double up here. There's Clint Starr, the diehard MMA podcast, says Islanders in 6. God, Clint, he's got such ballsy NHL looks. He's a very fun guy to cap NHL with, and he's making cash. Braves bullpen 4.70 ERA, 1.40 whip, converted 12 of 20 save opportunities. Phillies bullpen 4.54 ERA, 1.38 whip, converted 14 of 25 save opportunities. I've been using the word congruent with our MLB capping on this run. Everything kind of lining up together. What scared me was that the 8.5 went up to 9 and then it came back to 8. No, it didn't go up to 9. I thought it was going to go up to 9, then it came back to a pick 'em at 8.5. Now it's at 9. And that tells me that one of the main things I'm looking for is right there for me. Let's go back to this total here. And we have 9s right across the board. Right across the board. That's exactly what I want to see. We also see money moving towards Philadelphia, minus 147 to minus 152. So that first thing we can check off. The next thing we'll check off is let's go to baseball data and see what we are. There we go. Pitcher versus batter. Smiley's been pretty good against these Braves. 241 average, 844 OPS against. So they're 7 for 29. 4 of the 7 hits are for extra bases. 1 double, 3 homers. So although their batting average is low, their power is high. And then we go to Nola, 204 at-bats against them, and they're hitting 250, 767 OPS. 4 an ace, I'm fine with that. Also 9 home runs on the board. Sandoval is 1. Acuna, 9 for 26 with 2 homers. Austin Riley, 2 homers. Freddie Freeman, 2 homers. Dansby Swanson, a homer. Ender Inciarte, a homer. So that's covered. So then we go to the market, and we're getting this information as the show goes on. That's why instead of the picks that we make early or overnight being the key to our success on the show, it hasn't been. It's been the plays right here during the show because we're getting more information on what the market is doing. And here with Smyly versus Nola, we don't have any information on the tickets for unders and overs at this point at Sports Insights. So we'll just see if I can refresh and see if we can get anything. And let's move over to MLB. And nothing. So that doesn't help there. We do see that 63% of the money 63% of the tickets on the money line are on Philadelphia and 66% of the cash in the market's moving in that direction. So if you were to back the Philadelphia Phillies, you'd be in very comfortable spot. Very comfortable spot. Okay, so Glen Elliott, man, leaning to the Braves Phillies over 9. Another thing that I implore you, there's TJ in the house, is not to, if you miss the market move, let it go. Just let it go. This is all about implied probability. That 9 has to be a winning bet. It can't be a push. If that 9 is a push for you, then the percentage of times that you expect this game to go to 10 runs, it just won't work out in your favor. So if we miss a market move, just let it go. We have a huge card ahead of us, and there's no need to worry about anything. Luke Murphy says, Avs first period. Luke, I might be jumping on with that spot. All right, and Prince of the City laughing at Philadelphia teams. Bruce Shad in the house. Okay, and Sharpie says took a small shot on Braves first 5 plus 145. Phillies can't hit lefties this year. Like I said, Miley just held them to 0 runs in 6 innings. Braves hit Nola. I don't get the line move. D from Detroit in the house, too. Love seeing all these guys rolling with us. So that's the first spot on the board. And I didn't get it at minus 110. I got it at minus 120. So I got over 8.5 minus 120. That gets me started. Let's keep rolling. And I'm sorry that it's taking so long. But if we got to go over all these little bits, it's going to take some time. But I'll try to rush. And we have Mr. Gogster joining us for NHL. Let's move on. 7:05 p.m. Eastern. LA Dodgers 34-25, 15-15 on the road at the Pittsburgh Pirates, 23-35, 13-16 at home. We're at PNC Park in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. 80 Fahrenheit, light rain, 4 miles per hour out to center. Walker Buehler going up against JT Brubaker. My first thought was, man, Brubaker's very good. The Dodgers haven't seen him. But I do not want, and these numbers the Dodgers have against righties are going down, 246, 759 OPS. So I know that Buehler's a beast. This would be a Pirates or no bet, but I have no need to force anything. I have no need to push anything. But the Pirates bullpen's pitching very good. This total's gone from 7.5 to 8.5. 7.5 and 8.5. So the market's telling us, look, Dodgers are going to get to Brubaker, and the Pirates are going to get a couple runs on Buehler. That's what it's telling me. But I'm still very scared. And I hit a first 5 under 4.5 on Friday in a Indians Orioles, I believe. No, sorry, it's Indians Orioles, and it was predicated on the fact that the pitchers were pitching good enough and hadn't seen the opposition, and that's been working. Don't look at the season stats, but look at how they're pitching lately, and they haven't seen the opposition. Okay, so let's move over on a couple more things right here. Patrick People says Dodgers run line to the paint. Pirates are lethargic in all categories. This Pirates bullpen is now better than the Dodgers bullpen over the year, and they're coming on. 3.71 ERA, 1.22 whip, converted 8 of 11 save opportunities. Dodgers bullpen, 3.72 ERA, 1.29 whip, converted 18 of 33 save opportunities. Sharpie says I want Dodgers minus 1.5 and minus 2.5. We have a number 1 versus a number 3, big gaps in OPS and better bullpen. So at least maybe when the season's up, the Dodgers will have a better bullpen, but they haven't had one so far this year. Renee says I took the Dodgers over 4 last night, and Sharpie makes me feel better. Absolutely. Sharpie's he's got that name for a reason. Ron Lofton says I long for the 2 shows a day days. They were good days. It took a lot out of me. Danny A, much love. Thank you for taking the time. Okay, so Walker Buehler in his last start went 6 innings, 7 hits, 3 runs, 2 home runs, 2 walks, 8 Ks, and a 14-3 win at home over the Cardinals. And the Cardinals don't hit righties that hard, but I think that Buehler had a big lead, so he was just letting it go. Brubaker, 4-4, 3.74 ERA, 1.19 whip, 55 and a third, 56 Ks, 13 walks, 10 home runs. In his last start, he went 6 innings, allowed 4 hits, 0 earned runs, 1 walk, 5K, in a 7-0 loss in a 7-inning doubleheader at home versus the Rockies. I want to back Brubaker as much as possible. I want him. Dodgers righties, as I said, 246, 759 OPS. Yes, Pirates are the worst team in the league against righties, 233, 653 OPS. Let's just see what the market has done here. We see the total going. I already did that. Total going up to 8.5, and just a 1 cent move to the Dodgers. And then we have 93% of the money line tickets on the Dodgers, 89% of the money on the Dodgers. It's only moved 1 cent. We have 86% of the tickets on the over, 66% of the cash on the over. We've seen it go up a full run. All of that makes sense. No red flags there. And then baseball data, as I said, they haven't seen Brubaker, which I think makes him dangerous. And very limited sample size against Buehler, 3 for 15. But the market's saying it's going to go over. I do not want to get in that. I don't want to stand up and step up to that giant market move. So it's simply no move for me. And Patrick Peebles says Pirates have the worst offense in baseball. Sharpie says, so you're saying red flag on Dodgers, all money on them, and line ain't moving. Yes, I would say that. I would say that, yeah. Now, I'm not Sharpie and Razor and some very, very astute cappers are seeing situations like that and taking the other side. I've not been doing that. I've been just letting something go. If it sticks, if it correlates with my capping, I'll go with it. And the people who've been making moves on that have been succeeding. Now, Sharpie, we can also see what happens as the day goes on. But yes, if I see there's 89% of the tickets on the Dodgers on the money line and 93% of the cash, and it's moved 1 cent to Pinnacle. And Patrick Peebles says there's nothing wrong with following your gut feeling. It's not always about the stats. You're absolutely right, Patrick. Absolutely right. And Viper says the total's gone over in 10 of Pittsburgh's last 11 games while playing the Dodgers. So maybe that's another big point of it. Okay, let's move on. We move on to the New York Mets at Baltimore Orioles. So this is a big issue I had. I want to stop fading pitchers after they get destroyed. And we have 2 pitchers in that situation today. We have David Peterson and Carlos Martinez, both coming off starts where they only went a third. I've been noticing, and I don't have stats to back it up, and I'm trying to work on that right now, that when a pitcher gets absolutely destroyed and doesn't last, let's say, less than an inning and a half, that the market or the public immediately sees the numbers and starts betting against that pitcher. And secondly, that pitcher is generally not dealing with much arm fatigue and has been thinking for 5 days about how he's going to improve and what different changes he's going to make. And obviously the team believes in him because he's right out back on the bump 5 days later. This is something that I would like to stop doing. I would like to stop fading a pitcher in this situation. I couldn't help myself here because 2 starts ago, Bruce Zimmerman completely shut down the White Sox. We know what they do to left-handed pitching. And the Mets hit 226, 680 OPS versus lefties, while the Orioles hit 286, 805 OPS. So I had to go against what I want to start doing. I had to. And that's fine. If something pushes me so far where I'm like, look, I have to do this, then okay, I'll do it. But moving forward, I do not want, if anything, I want to back a pitcher who gets destroyed. And I don't even know if I have the balls to do that. But I certainly want to stop fading pitchers after they get destroyed because we keep seeing them bounce back. We keep seeing them bounce back. Life of On Polo says, take the Baltimore Orioles. Matty Ice says, Baltimore smashes lefties. There's my guy, Chris Brady in the house. Martha Mead says, I agree, Jimmy, but Matt Harvey. I have not faded Matt Harvey the last couple starts. And I know his very last start was just an opener, and he loaded the bases, I believe, with none out and got out of that jam. I'm just looking at baseball very differently than I have been in my 4 years of publicly doing this in front of you, and I believe that it's working. Sharpie says White Sox have not been money the last 3 times versus left-handed pitching. Puzzler says I like Baltimore money line and took it. I can't back Baltimore on a full game, even though their bullpen is improving. The Mets bullpen has become lights out. I know the Mets are still dealing with major injuries. J.D. Davis, Brandon Nimmo, Michael Conforto, Jeff McNeil all remain out of the lineup. Jonathan Villar, their second baseman, was not in the starting lineup Sunday with a hamstring, but he says he's available to come off the bench. And can't watch Sweet News of Money by meat and chicken for the barbecue. Okay. I moved on the Orioles first 5. I got him at plus 100. And I knew that I wasn't going to be – we don't get the information where the market is on first 5s at this time in the morning. So I wasn't going to be able to use that. Lucky Power says take the over in both games, Cubs and White Sox. We will get there soon. And I don't like full game overs with the Cubs because their bullpen's been so lights out, but they've allowed a couple hits recently. All right, so let's get back to the spot. Mets 29-23, 14-18 on the road. Orioles 21-38, 10-20 at home. We have the Mets opening up at minus 121. They're now at minus 112. A 9-cent move towards the Orioles. This total opened up at 9.5, juice to the under. It's still 9.5, juice to the under, but there's been a 1-cent move to the over. Eric Chang likes Mets to win it all this year. If you guys get healthy, you guys are dangerous. Matty Ice is moving on the Mount Castle. Total bases over 1.5 at plus 140. Okay, Peterson, 1-4, 5.89 ERA, 1.4 whip, 44 and a third, 49 Ks, 20 walks, 9 home runs. At times, he's looked very good this year. Last few starts, he's been pummeled, but nothing like he was pummeled in his last start. 1/3 of an inning, 3 hits, 5 earned runs, 1 home run, 3 walks, 0 Ks, and a 7-6 win at home at Arizona. Bruce Zimmerman, 3-3, 4.96 ERA, 1.53 whip, 49 innings, 43 Ks, 15 walks, 11 home runs. In his last start, he went 5 1/3. He allowed 6 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 home run, 2 walks, 7 Ks in a 7-4 win at home versus the Twins. Mets are, as I said, only hitting 226, 680 OPS versus lefties, and the Orioles 286, 805. This Mets bullpen is very strong. We go to baseball data here. We see that Peterson has only faced 4 Orioles, 5 at bats, 1 for 5, and they haven't seen Zimmerman. If Peterson hadn't been so badly destroyed, I would think about trying maybe to get under this. But I'm going to back Zimmerman. I'm going to back the Orioles versus a lefty. I'm going to take the plus money. And what was that plus money? I mean, I got 100, but what is it right now here in this interleague spot? First 5, we'll go quickly. First 5 money line. And then we'll see where the market is on full game. We won't bother to look at first 5 because we know it's not available. And we get bookmaker, and that's who I've been following for first 5s. I just feel like they're really sharp with it. Baltimore opening up at plus 101. By the way, the Mets opened up at minus 133, and they're down to minus 113. But it's just been an 8-cent move for the Orioles from plus 101 to minus 107. All that is congruent. All of that is correlated. The only thing that makes me uncomfortable is what happened to Peterson in his last start, and I expect a bounce-back start from a highly thought-of young pitcher. So we move back to where the money is here, and we have 37% of the tickets on the Orioles and 58% of the cash on the Orioles. So if you're on the Orioles, you should feel good about yourself. And Renee says Peterson will have his routine collapse. And Chris Brady smashed the over 10.5. Wow. Probably at a nice big plus line. There's Nate Dogg 420 in the house. Okay. Oh, KBO. Okay, sorry. Okay, much love, Chris. Sorry. Okay, we move on. So we move on to Colorado Rockies and Miami Marlins. Lone Depot Park in Miami, Florida. This was a spot where I was very interested in the first 5 under, but could not pull the trigger and wanted to talk it out with you guys. Colorado Rockies have Trevor Story expected to return today. We'll see if he is. 24 and 36, 4 and 22 on the road. They've been awful on the road against the Marlins. 25 and 34, 12 and 12 at home. We're at Lone Depot Park in Miami, Florida. I expect the roof to be closed. I have a very difficult time getting information on the Marlins ballpark until later in the day, whether the roof is going to be open. But I expect it to be closed at 79 Fahrenheit, partly cloudy, 14 miles per hour in. Antonio Senzatella going up against Pablo Lopez. Senzatella, 2-5, 4.47 ERA, 1.41 whip, 58 and a third, 34 Ks, 16 walks, 6 home runs. In his last start, he went 7 2/3, allowed 7 hits, 3 runs, only 1 was earned. Just 1 walk, only 3 Ks, but it was a 6-3 win at home in the thin air at Colorado versus the Rangers. Pablo Lopez, coming off a tough start at Toronto, sorry to pronounce the last D. 4 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 home runs, both solo shots, 1 walk, 9 Ks in a 6-5 loss at the Blue Jays. On the year, he's been very good, and at home, he's very good. And Sharpie always talks about the dichotomy of his statistics, home and away. Pablo Lopez, 1-3, 2.82 ERA, 1.15 whip, 67 innings, 68 Ks, 19 walks, 7 home runs. Rockies and Marlins both are terrible against righties. Rockies 231, 669 OPS. Marlins 229, 662 OPS. Rockies bullpen terrible, 5.38 ERA, 1.52 whip, converted 9 of 18. Marlins bullpen 3.86 ERA, 1.19 whip. They've only converted 11 of 27. They're not closing games, but they're very good in the middle part of the lineup. And there we go. Gambler's First Glance that is out right now on our Pub Sports Radio YouTube page is Orioles money line versus the Mets, and I like it. Sharpie says Pablo Lopez at home has a sub-2 ERA plus 5 on the road. They scratched him yesterday so he can pitch at home. Obviously, they know there is a difference. I like his props over 5.5. Makes sense to me. So baseball data, Senzatella has only been seen by 3 Marlins, and they're 6 for 12 against them with 2 doubles and a homer. Pablo Lopez, they're 10 for 21 against them, hitting .476 with a 1.024 whip or OPS. Now, it's a very small sample size that maybe we shouldn't look too much into, but that's the first thing that's incongruent with everything else if we wanted to make a move on that first 5 under. Let's see where the market has gone in this spot here. Start with money lines and totals, but let's focus on the first 5 because I don't want anything to do with Rockies bullpen. It opened at 4. It's now at 3.5. And the Marlins are big favorites, -198 to -200. Full game here. We have the Marlins opening up at -152. They're now -186. A 34-cent move towards the Marlins. Ooh-wee. Then we go to the market, and you have 75% of the money line tickets on the Marlins, 87% of the cash, so that all makes sense. And then here is the red flag for totals. You have 52% of the tickets on the over and 75% of the cash on the over. So I can't take an under here. It just doesn't all correlate and come together. So I'm off of it. We move on. 7 p.m., 7:10 p.m. Eastern, and we have the Houston Astros at Boston Red Sox, which means we arrive. At the taint play of the day, and I find it extremely interesting that Matty Ice, who's so exceptionally sharp, is on the Astros full game money line at -120. We're in Fenway Park in Boston, Massachusetts. Astros are 33-26, 13-13 on the road. Red Sox are 37-23, 17-13 at home. It's 79 Fahrenheit, light rain, 6 miles per hour, out to left center. Framber Valdez going up against Martin Perez. They both faced the opposition last out. Framber Valdez went 7 innings, allowed 5 hits, 1 earned run, no homers, 2 walks, 10 Ks, and a 2-1 win at home over the Red Sox. Martin Perez, right in front of our producer, Jose, was spectacular. 4-2, 3.09 ERA, 1.23 whip, 58 in the third, 52 Ks, 18 walks, 4 home runs on the season. Last out, 7 2/3, 6 hits, 0 runs, 1 walk, 4 K, and a 5-1 win at the Astros. The Astros smashed lefties. The Red Sox smashed lefties. Astros are hitting 286, 797 OPS versus lefties. Red Sox are 266, 742 OPS. Astros bullpen is bad and vulnerable. 4.35 ERA, 1.35 whip, converted 12 of 22 save opportunities. The Red Sox bullpen, right when I thought they were going to fall apart, as we had expected from the beginning of the year, they've been very good lately. 3.52 ERA, 1.35 whip, have converted 20 of 29 save opportunities. J.D. Martinez has missed 3 straight games with a wrist injury. He's not been put on the IL. Will he be put on the IL, or will he be in the lineup tonight? Is crucial if you're interested in backing the Red Sox or fading them. Michael Brantley is expected to return during the Astros' upcoming series. I'm not sure if he'll be in tonight. Eric Jones says over 10. Carlos Lewis says fear the beard. It's my first. I've never grown one out my entire life. Okay. And who knows? Might have to shave it here in a minute if the Avalanche break my heart. Okay, Astros, Red Sox. So let's see what the market has done. Astros opened up at -104. At Pinnacle, they're now -117, a 13-cent move towards them. This total opened up at 9.5, and it's now at 10. Let's go to baseball data next. We have Valdez, 34 at-bats against them. They're 8 for 34 with a 1 double, 1 home run, 235, 669 OPS. Against Martin Perez, they're hitting 305 with a 778 OPS, even though he just shut them down. Now, no pitcher, maybe Velasquez with the Phillies. But Martin Perez has got me right in the old chocolate starfish more than any pitcher I can think of other than Velasquez. He just from the eye test, he looks so hittable. And then there's times he's so good. And he's bounced right around the league, making me think that he's so vulnerable if none of these experts want to keep him on their team. But he keeps getting me. Let's go to see where the market is here with this Astros spot. We have 54% of the money line tickets on the Red Sox, but just 40% of the cash. So that works nicely with Matty Ice's look. We have 58% of the tickets on the over and just 26% of the cash. That is a red flag for overbettors. 74% of the cash is on the under, which means some big bets have come in on the under. So the Astros are the play. There's no doubt about that, except that I can't keep fading a pitcher who historically sharpens up a chopstick and slits my throat with it. I just can't do it. But I should do it. You also have a much better bullpen in the Red Sox. Oh, which, I mean, I guess that scares me. I don't know. I'm just scared. Jamel Wright says Sox got to be tired. And Eric Jones says the big bets on the under will lose. Yes, JM. Loshak is good. Well, the announcement should be out today. Okay, so look, I'm as the Lodals legend Peter Loshak would say, safe. I think I'm just going to stay safe. Okay, let's move on. 7:10 p.m. Eastern. Next up, we have the Milwaukee Brewers, 33-26, 16-11 on the road at the Cincinnati Reds, 28-29, 12-14 at home. We're at Great America Ballpark in Cincinnati, Ohio. 80 Fahrenheit, overcast, 3 miles per hour, sideways in. Adrian Hauser, 3-5, 3.86 ERA, 1.30 WHIP, 53 2/3, 48 Ks, 23 walks, 9 home runs. In his last start, he went 5 innings, 5 hits, 1 earned run, 2 walks, 6 Ks, and a 10-7 loss at home versus the Detroit Tigers. Sonny Gray not coming off a good start either. Well, that was actually a pretty good start. What did I talk about for Hauser? But he's not coming off a good start, Sonny Gray. 1-4, 3.64 ERA, 1.34 WHIP, 47 innings, 60 Ks, 20 walks, 8 home runs allowed. In Sonny's last start, he went 4 2/3. He allowed 6 hits, 4 runs, 3 of them earned, 2 homers, 1 walk, 8 Ks, in a 17-3 loss at home to the Phillies. The Brewers don't hit righties, and the Reds smash righties. The Brewers are hitting 209, 654 OPS. Reds are hitting 256, 774 OPS. I think clearly I can't look at the home statistics for Sonny Gray because he just got shellacked and they're going to hurt them there. And I've not felt like Sonny Gray was as lights out as he has been in the past. Is this a perfect spot for him going up against a Brewers team that can't hit? Brewers bullpen 4.42 ERA, 1.33 WHIP have converted 17 of 28. Reds bullpen 5.78 ERA, 1.44 WHIP have converted 14 of 22. Brian Watson on the over 8.5 in the Brews. Reginald Luker going on Yankees and Pirates money line. The Pirates is a very, very interesting bet, Reginald. Very, very, very interesting. Birdie says work busy. NHL Avs in regulation over 5.5 in Tampa Bay money line and under 5.5. I love it, Birdie. Thank you so much for putting in the good fight to share that with us. So Votto's thumb injury, supposedly there was a setback on Saturday. He was just sore. He was supposed to return to the lineup tonight. They still think he may return to the lineup tonight. Keep an eye on that. Tyler Naquin is expected to be back in the lineup tonight after dealing with a hamstring injury, and Nick Senzel knee injury out until mid-July. Glenn Elliott Man says Reds were impressive versus Cardinals last season. Well, let's look at the baseball data and then the market moves. Against Hauser, they're hitting 379 with a 1.291 OPS. Wow, 22 for 58. Winker 8 for 13 with 5 home runs. Holy shit. Suarez 5 for 13 with 2 home runs. Against Sonny Gray, they're hitting 223 with a 768 OPS. Well, let's see how expensive it is for us to back the Cincinnati Reds. Hauser coming off a good start. Sonny Gray and the Reds opened up at minus 125. They're now minus 134. Strange. I guess because the Brewers are 16-11 on the road and the Reds are 12-14 at home. But you just think when you have a team that's hitting 774 against righties, the Brewers are hitting 654. You have a pitcher who is thought to be at a higher level than Adrian Hauser. Maybe that's me not believing in Hauser enough. You would think that would open up at a much bigger price, especially after what was just said in the chat, how well the Reds played the Cardinals. So we have 47% of the tickets on the Reds and 51% of the cash. 38% of the tickets on the under and 56% of the cash. It doesn't really make sense. So, Matty Ice on Suarez hits over a half of -165. It's very juicy, I know, but it looks like a win. I am not going to move on it. It's fishy. With the way the bats attack Hauser, how could there not be how could it not be more expensive to back the Reds? It just doesn't make sense. It should be expensive. It shouldn't be cheap. Why would it be cheap? Now, the first 5 is expensive. Now we're talking. Sonny Gray in the first 5 is at -165. So let's just see what bookmaker has done with that. Opened it at -142. It's now -165. Now, there have been huge market moves in this. It went up to -170, then back to -149, up to -175, then back to -165. This is a no bet. There's Juan Ruiz in the house. Great to see you, my guy. Sharpie's on the over 8.5 says 2 bad bullpens, 2 pitchers who get hit. Gray's got it, gets hit too in small sample size. Both bottom 10 bullpen. I get it. And Billy Brisbane, I'm right with you on that first quarter with the Sixers. I bet it, but I'm nervous. Okay. What's up with Turnsy? What heal quick? What did I miss? Is Turnsy all good? Okay, Shit, what's everybody talking about? There he is. I played this before. My day was completely ruined today from an idiot T-bowling. Oh, no. Avs second period over. Avs money line under 5.5 in Tampa. Gonna be oh, God. Turnsy, I'm so sorry, man. Shit. Oh, I hate hearing that, man. Thinking about you. I'll reach out today after the show. Ugh. Damn. Sucks. Much love, man. Ugh. Okay. Let's move on. 7:10 p.m. Eastern. Seattle Mariners at Detroit Tigers. We're at Comerica Park in Detroit, Michigan. God damn. Soon as that border opens up, I will be at Comerica Park in Detroit, Michigan, and at Green Dot Stables, and at Slow's Barbecue. And I'll be drunk on the streets. Seattle Mariners 30-31, 13-17 on the road. At the Detroit Tigers 24-35, 13-15 at home. Comerica Park 83 Fahrenheit, overcast 5 miles per hour sideways in. Marco Gonzalez 1-3, 5.01 ERA, 1.27 WHIP, 32 in the third, 29 Ks, 12 walks, 7 home runs. He came back from the IL. They only let him go 4 innings, and he looked good. 2 hits, 1 earned run, 1 home run, solo shot, 1 walk, 6 Ks, and a 12-6 loss at home versus the A's. For the A's, Kyle Lewis may be done for the year. Those of you who faded the Mariners without great success, man, with not very nice ROI, Kyle Lewis was a big thorn in my side. He made monster plays in center field. He was saving runs in center field, and it's a big loss for them. To the Tigers, I was telling you guys that this Tigers bullpen was better than the numbers indicate. 5.19 ERA, 1.51 WHIP. Converted 12 of 21 save opportunities. And I loved Michael Fulmer back there. And they were using him on the highest leverage situations. He's now on the 10-day injured list with a shoulder injury. And that's a huge loss to a weak bullpen. Matthew Boyd, 2-6, 3.90 ERA, 1.17 WHIP, 62 in the third, 51 Ks, 18 walks, 6 home runs. Yes, Kev, it's on. It's on. Trinity said, I think I have whiplash or something. My wife is bringing me to the hospital right now. I smacked my head pretty good. Oh, God, I hate hearing that, Turnsy. God, I hate hearing that, man. We'll all reach out and feel better, man. Ugh. Okay. Mariners don't hit lefties, 203, 637 OPS, but I've hung my hat on that before without success. Matthew Boyd coming off a tough start, the 10-7 win at the Brewers. He allowed 5 earned runs, 3 home runs in 4 2/3, 3 walks, 4 Ks. Tigers are hitting 220, 620 OPS versus lefties. I keep telling you, this is there's a few angles that I've been right about, and obviously a bunch I've been wrong, but one of the angles I've been right is that Tigers will start hitting lefties. It made no sense that they were worst in the league. We've watched them the last few years, and their lineup hasn't changed over that much. They were smashing lefties the last few years, and they were hitting like high 400 OPS versus lefties. That made no sense. Right now, they're hitting 220, 620 OPS, and that's going to move up. That's going to move up. And Michael Robertson says that's smart turns. They definitely go. Yes, definitely go, and we'll reach out and make sure That all is okay, Turnsy, my guy. Okay, so let's go to market moves and baseball data and then decide if there's a move here to make. Against Gonzalez, they're hitting 271 with a 661 OPS. Against Matthew Boyd, they're hitting 310 with a 1.272 OPS. 2 homers for Tom Murphy, 2 home runs for Kyle Seager, 1 from Nottingham. Interesting. The first 5 went from 4 to 4.5. My legitimate thought when I first looked at it was, would this be a sneaky under? And the market goes from 8 to 8.5. And there's been a huge move on the Tigers. So everything is telling me that my initial feeling and analysis from looking at the numbers was wrong. So just stay off. And then we have the market. We have 58% of the tickets on Detroit, 71% of the cash, and the market moving in their direction. Now, here is the crazy red flag. If you're looking for one in this game, you have 28% of the tickets on the over, 40% of the cash on the over, and they keep raising the total. Why? So let's just see what Pinnacle has done with this. Their total opened at 7.5, went to 8 at 11:47 p.m. last night. At 11:22 this morning, went to 8.5. That tells me this is going to go under. And this is the angle that I've got to start recording every day. But it tells me that it's going to go under. Matty Ice has some very hot bats on both these teams right now. The thing is that the fact that they keep raising this total, okay, I'm just going to stay off of it. I need everything to be together. And Eric Jones says it, fake line move under spot. See, I don't know if I can do that yet. I think that's something that, look, I've got a lot to work on in MLB. And if we can start getting continued success, maybe I'll have the balls to follow through on some of these spots where the market's telling us. Because the market's actually somewhat correlating with my actions, except the total's coming from 7.5 to 8.5. Okay, this will be just a watch for me, Eric Jones, but I'll be thinking about you and cheering for you. There's Ergo Kostic in the house. Great to see you, Ergo Kostic. It's 7:10 p.m. Eastern. Our next spot, Washington Nationals at Tampa Bay Rays. Nationals are 24-32, 11-17 on the road. The Rays are 38-23, 15-13 at home. And we have come to our guy, Jose's say, hey, play of the day. And Jose was on a nice little run there that has gone away. 3 straight L's for Jose, and he had a win sitting in his pocket, but he was too hungover to make us a little video on Martin Perez's first 5, which has cost him. Please welcome to the show your man, my guy, Jose in the house. Jose, what's happening, man?
Things are going not well, Jimmy. I'll admit it, not well. I regret the Martin Perez win slipping through my fingers, especially as I was talking shit the whole time and getting chirped. But it was a good time. I enjoyed that, and hopefully he pitches well today. But it feels like the whole chat's against me today. Everyone's against me today, Jimmy. I've got Matty, Ice, the boys against my Red Sox today, of course, against my one of my other fathers, Martin. I've got you against me with our Avalanche Bruins bet, which feels like it's slipping through my fingers as well.
Oh, both of our fingers, though.
Well,
Knights are storming back.
Well, Jimmy, I have a feeling that your Avalanche will be okay. I recently saw today that apparently they were even money to win the Stanley Cup or something like that. I was like, what? So I think you're fine. Whatever.
I'm very excited to hear your look on this game. John Lester going up against Tyler Glasnow. I am very interested because Lester's been a little better. The Rays strike out a ton against lefties. We have Glasnow and the Rays opening up at -192 at Pinnacle. They're now at -224. So we see a 32-cent move over to the Rays. Big shout out to Jordan Arredondo. Respect. Welcome, my friend. We work together to defeat the juice, and we welcome you with open arms. So I got lots of numbers to break down, Jose, but why don't we let you roll? What's your plan? What's your edge? What's your angle?
Well, Jimmy, I like to use your show as my soapbox show, and I'd like to tell you something interesting, Jimmy. MLB recently started enforcing this rule, this sticky stuff rule. No more foreign substances for pitchers. They're getting the full pat down. They're touching the crotch. They're touching the belt. They're getting everything searched apparently. And it's been interesting. I since then I've been documenting spin rates every day. I just take a look and see whose spin rate, for some odd reason, is down a shitload of RPMs. And now we've reached Tyler Glasnow versus John Lester. And I have a feeling that John Lester's spin rates might be down a bit here. He's an older pitcher. I feel like this is something he used. Former Red Sox, shout out to him. I love John Lester to death. Tyler Glasnow, one of the best strikeout pitchers in baseball. Does he use sticky stuff? I don't think so, Jimmy. I'm on his over 7.5 strikeouts today against these Nationals. I think he dices up these guys. Jimmy, he's only had 3 games this year with under 7 strikeouts. It's 8-11. He had 2 against Toronto, which he struggled against. That was a shock. 10, 11, 8, 10, 10, 7, 14, 9, and 6? What? Are the books trying to tell me preemptively that he uses foreign substances and all of his spin rates are going to be down for some reason? I think it's going to be interesting. I really do think he will dominate today. I think he'll go good 7 innings and he'll get 10 plus strikeouts ideally. And maybe, Jimmy, how about we have an easy casher? How about it? Why don't we fuck around and have an easy casher?
I would like that very much for you. 23 at-bats. These Nationals had faced Tyler Glasnow. In 23 at-bats, they've struck out 7 times. 261 average, 770 OPS. Schwarber, 1 for 6 with 3 Ks. Yan Gomez, 2 for 5 with 2 Ks. Very, very interesting look. Against Leicester, the Nationals are hitting .433 with a 1.118 OPS. Intriguing. And we go to where the cash is here in this spot, and we have 94% of the money line tickets on the Rays, 76% of the cash. We have 54% of the tickets on the over, but just 37% of the cash. Very, very, very interesting. And Brian Warner giving us the Reds, Suarez, Winker, and Casty, 14 for 32 with 9 RBIs, 10 home runs, 7 Ks, and 0 walks against Hauser. That's a very interesting game there. Why are the Reds not bigger favorites, Brian? It's a very tricky spot. I like it. Glasnow over 7.5 Ks. Jose, my man, what juice did you get? What big?
I believe I got it. It's at -112 currently. Let me double check for you, Jimmy, just for posterity here. By the way, the chat's on fire today, Jimmy. I just want to let you know that I had it at -112 earlier.
All right.
So I guess I'll roll with that. I can't find it again, but I had it at -112. But yeah, chat's on fire today.
They are. Money over 7.5 Ks at -112 for Jose. And at this point, I mean, it's just a Rays better nothing, and I don't know if I want to pay the cost here. And if I did, I should have taken it the night before with a 30-cent move. Let's just see.
Jimmy,
yeah.
I would recommend, really, if you look at these spin rates, Jimmy, it's been really funny. And like pull this, pull that, or someone has said, asked me about Trevor Bauer's spin rates this last start, and they were all down, all tanked down, like -300, 100-ish for almost all of his pitches. And same thing with Garrett Cole. Garrett Cole was actually the first person that really tipped me off about this, because of course he's a Yankee and I have to get my shit talk in. And by the way, Jimmy, the Red Sox sweep the Yankees. I have not heard one word from Mills this whole time. I made a $10 bet with Mills about the first game. I have not heard one peep from Mills about my hat, my hair. I haven't heard anything from him in a whole weekend. So I want to put an APB. I want a missing person. I want him on juice boxes, milk cartons, everything. Find Mills, because he has disappeared, Jimmy.
I I love it. I love it, Jose. I love the spin rates. Please keep a titty of the situation. Let us know if there's any changes in that and who's falling apart. I think that's great information. Here we have our man Jose, our producer on Glasnow, over 7.5 Ks at -112. Jose, thank you so much for joining us, and respect, my friend. There it is. Jose, say hey, play of the day. And we roll on 8:05 p.m. Eastern. San Francisco Giants 37-22, 19-13 on the road at the Texas Rangers 23-38, 14-15 at home. And razor sharp picks dropping a pick four over at Parks. This will cost $36 for the ticket, using all in the first race and singling the 3-horse in the third race. There it is. Any of you guys looking for a little thoroughbred glory? Razor Sharp Picks is the man. Okay, let's go. Global Life Field in Arlington, Texas. It's 104 Fahrenheit at first pitch, and I expect it to be closed, but I could not get this information in the morning. Rangers roof. Let's see if I can grab it right now. Roof status. And no, what? God, Texas, Miami, they're just giving us. They're not helping, but it's got to be closed. 104 Fahrenheit, partly cloudy, 11 miles per hour to left. Alex Wood, 5-3, 3.48 ERA, 1.12 WHIP, 51 2/3, 52 Ks, 15 walks, 6 home runs. In his last start, he only made it through 3 2/3, allowed 4 hits, 7 earned runs, 0 home runs, 4 walks, 2 Ks, and 8-1 loss at home to the Angels. You guys know I want to fade Jordan Lyles as much as possible. All I want to do is fade Jordan Lyles, but he hasn't been terrible. He just looked pretty good in the thin air of Colorado. And I don't know if I trust Alex Wood enough. Lyles, 2-4, 5.57 ERA, 1.52 WHIP, 61 innings, 54 Ks, 21 walks, 11 home runs. In his last start, he went 5 innings, allowed 7 hits, 3 earned runs, 2 walks, 2 Ks, 6-3 loss at the Rockies. The Giants hit .231, 734 OPS versus righties. But Brandon Belt's been out of the lineup. He's going to be activated at some point during this 5-game road trip. Mike Yastrzemski and Darren Ruff remain out, and the Giants just placed Longoria on the 10-day IL. Rangers don't hit lefties, 239, 667 OPS. Giants bullpen is looking good, 3.70 ERA, 1.18 WHIP, converted 23 of 36. Billy Brisbane says, I like the Giants, first 5 just expensive. P-Dog says, I saw that Angels game, Woods is trash. Bama Boy says, like backing Wood after bad start. San Francisco, much better overall team. Hunter Engelhardt says the Rangers don't hit anyone. Our man Hunter Engelhardt, very, very good MLB capper who we're going to get on the show moving forward. So let's go to baseball data against Alex Wood. The Rangers are hitting .268 with a 782 OPS. Against Lyles, the Giants are hitting .214 with a 618 OPS. 12 for 56 with 3 doubles and 1 homer. Let's see how expensive it is. And I'd already decided, look, it wasn't one of my moves when I came in. And Alex Wood opens up at -136, now -139, a 3-cent move over there. The total's gone from 8.5 to 8. And if we go look where the cash is in this spot, we have 21% of the tickets on Texas and 5% of the cash. Oh, man. And what? The move's being what? What did I say? It was 1 cent at Pinnacle? 3 cents. How could it only be 3 cents? That's 3,656 tickets. You have 59% of the tickets on the over and the same amount of cash on the over. Wow. What's that telling you? Oh, Razor. Okay, Razor, can you pop that up again if you don't mind then? Just one more time if you don't mind. So Razor's not using all in the first race. He's not using the 5-horse. Hunter Engelhardt says full game over is a good spot as well. Getting it at that 8. Yes, you must get it at the 8. You can't. Oh, it's moved down to 8. Going against that market move is nerve-wracking when most of the money and tickets are on the over. Look, the market to me, I mean, isn't that screaming at you that the Rangers are going to take care of business here? Why don't they want more money? Why are they not giving you a better line on the Rangers if all the money's on the Giants? Jordan Lyles, I just don't. Oh, there we go. There's Razor Sharp's pick. Parks pick 4. Thank you, Razor. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 1, 3, 5, 9, 3, and 2, 5, 7. I don't know, Puzzler. I would expect that to. You want the push at 8. It's just a nice place to be in. It changes your implied probability in a pretty drastic way. Wow. So the market is telling me that the Rangers are going to win. So let's just keep the note and track it. Let's move on to Yankees, Twinkies, 8:10 p.m. Eastern. New York Yankees, 31-29, 14-13 on the road at the Minnesota Twins, 24-35, 12-17 at home. We're at Target Field in Minneapolis, Minnesota, 91 Fahrenheit, mostly cloudy, 8 miles per hour in. Is Jordan Montgomery going up against Michael Pineda. Montgomery, 3-1, 3.92 ERA, 1.12 whip, 59 2/3, 59 Ks, 15 walks, 7 home runs. Much love to you, Wyatt Chapman, my friend. There he is. There he is. There's Millsy. There's Millsy in the house. Last start, Montgomery went 6 1/3, allowed 5 hits, 3 runs. Just 1 was earned. 0 home runs, 2 walks, 6 Ks in the 4-3 win at home over the Rays. Pineda, 3-3, 3.40 ERA, 1.07 whip, 47 2/3, 48 Ks, 12 walks, 9 home runs. In his last start, he only made it through 3 innings, allowed 7 hits, 5 earned runs, only got 1 strikeout in a 7-4 loss at the Orioles. Yankees are hitting just 223, 681 OPS versus righties. Shocking. The Twins versus lefties, 247, 749 OPS. They're hitting lefties hard. They're not hitting righties. Yankees bullpen, strong, 3.04 ERA, 1.09 whip. I've converted 16 of 21. Twins bullpen, 4.56 ERA, 1.36 whip. I've converted 14 of 23. Byron Buxton, beginning his rehab assignment on Tuesday. He'll be back patrolling center field. He's a great ball player. They need him back. Nelson Cruz is battling a sore knee. They held him out on Sunday in hopes that the 2 days off will have him good to go on Tuesday. But if you're backing the Twinkies, I would keep a very close eye on it. Let's take a look at the baseball data here in this spot. Against Montgomery, they're 4 for 13, 308 with a 938 OPS. Against the Twinkies and Pineda, they're 6 for 28, hitting 214 with a 481 OPS. He gets these Yankees out. And for good reason. You know, he wanted to stick around with this ball club. They're 6 for 28 with no extra base hits. And he's coming off a bad start. It's a tricky thing to trust. Yankees open up at minus 104. They're now minus 115, and 11-cent move towards them. This total's also gone up a full run from 8.5 to 9.5. Ron Lofton says under seems to play in this game. Glenn Elliott man leaning to the Yankees. And Chris Brady says market doesn't mean it. Probably Giants money line. Yes, GG, it's not for free. It costs $100 a month. Cost over $1,000 a year. The free sites I would never read them really out on our shows because you couldn't trust them. And this is thought of the gold standard, GG, and in our industry we think of it as the gold standard, this site. So they show us the amount of tickets that they're breaking down and tabulating, and it costs us money to use it on the show. And but you're right. I mean, we can't just take it as the word of God. Hunter Engelhardt says Pineda splits are really good, especially at home and with runners on, but his runners in scoring position, BAA, is iffy. Montgomery splits against right-handed batters are horrific. Nate Dogg, that's Sports Insights. Okay, so that is Yankees Twinkies. So let's see where the cash is here. We have 2,105 tickets counted. 27% of the tickets on the Twins, 46% of the cash. 53% of the tickets on the over, just 38% of the cash. It's gone up a full run. I think that when the totals move up a half run and a run, like we saw in that Mariners-Tigers game, I'm going to need more time to sit in that kind of a situation and understand, because it's hard to tell. You can't get it. You can't see what percentage of the gamblers bought in at 7.5 and an 8 and an 8.5, and that kind of makes it tricky. Sharpie says Pineda coming off a bad start. Sticky substance has been mentioned. He's the king of sticky substance and coming off a bad start. Sharpie, that is very true. And I love that Jose got us on that train. That is very true. Johnny K says Yanks. And at this point, the market is saying Yanks. But I'm not going to trust Montgomery here against the Twinkies team. But I could the over should have been something I figured out last night, and I did not. Let's move on. Christopher Carter said national media laughing at the Yanks for what it's worth. Boone's job is now in real jeopardy. Kyle Hintlian is also on the Yanks. What up, Kyle? Thank you for joining us. Let's move on. All right. Blue Jays, White Sox next up. Guaranteed rate field in Chicago, Illinois. Blue Jays are 30-27, 17-14 on the road. White Sox are 36-23, 23-10 at home. 76 Fahrenheit, mostly cloudy, 7 miles per hour in. We have Robbie Ray going up against Carlos Rodon. We have two teams that hit lefties very hard, but nobody hits lefties as hard as the White Sox, 276, 826 OPS. Robbie Ray, 3-2, 3.57 ERA, 1.14 whip, 58 innings, 69 Ks, 14 walks, 14 home runs. That K to walk ratio is vastly improved. He has his foot on a different spot on the rubber than he had in all his previous stops, and it's been helping him. In his last start, he went 6 innings, 6 hits, 1 earned run, 0 home runs, 2 walks, 9 Ks, and a 5-1 win at home versus the Marlins, a team that doesn't hit lefties and has a ton of injuries. Thank you, Walla Walla Dos. Rodon. And JT, talking about JT, said Rodon had a bad last outing. He did. 5-2, 1.98 ERA, 0.82 whip, 54 2/3, 80 Ks, 13 walks, 6 home runs. In his last start, he went 6 innings. He allowed 5 earned runs, 3 home runs, 1 walk, 8 Ks, and an 8-6 win at the Indians. Both bullpens are strong, but right now the White Sox bullpen is being very strong in comparison to the Jays. Both have almost identical numbers. 3.59 ERA, 1.27 for the whip for the Jays, 3.65, 1.26 for the White Sox. White Sox center fielder Luis Robert and Eloy Jimenez are, as you guys know, they're not expected back in the lineup until very late in the season, if at all. Then they lose Billy Hamilton, 10-day injured list with a right oblique strain. So their outfield is damaged. For the Jays, Springer very close to beginning another rehab assignment, and Kevin Biggio has just started a rehab assignment. And Chris Brady says about to bet Blue Jays. Date Dog says tough game. Give me the Blue Jays money line. Let's go to baseball data here and see if that helps. Only 2 batters have seen Ray, Eaton and Grandal. They are 3 for 13 with a triple against them. And only 4 batters have seen Rodon. They're 5 for 24, 2.8, 417 OPS. So let's see where the market move is here. In this spot, we have White Sox opening up at minus 136. They're now sitting at minus minus 142. So a 6-cent move towards them. This total opened up 8.5 to the under, a 1-cent move towards the under. And where is the cash here in this spot? We have 56% of the tickets on the White Sox, 60% of the cash, 42% of the tickets on the under, and 57% of the cash. Hawk Sports with JT says I'm leaning Jays full game. I am now leaning towards the White Sox. I think this is a pretty nice price on a pitcher who's maybe being the best pitcher in the American League. Why are we getting this price? It's because of his last start. We're getting a team that smashes lefties against Robbie Ray, who's coming off a start against a real meek hitting Marlin squad. They're expecting nice pitching performances from both. The White Sox bullpen's been very good lately. Rick the Ruler says, I can't see Rodon having 2 bad games in a row. Hunter Engelhardt says 79% humidity, heavy air, and 5 mile per hour breeze in. Nikolai Jubinski says Triple K Marines. Triple K Marine? I didn't realize that was you, Nikolai. Triple K Marines, barn burner of the night. Baltimore plus 4.5, Washington plus 4.5, Red Sox plus 4.5, Atlanta plus 4.5, and plus 102. Whoa, what a wild bet that is. Triple K Marine, he hung out with us in Miami. Nate Dogg says Jay's bats are better. The statistics, they are overall, but not against lefties. And God, don't you have to say, Richard P says on Jay's first 5, Sox have last 3 first 5 versus left-handed pitching. Screwball and Minor just shut down Sox 10 days, both left-handed pitchers. I just think that this is a pretty cheap price to pay for a possible Cy Young winner who's coming off a bad start. Minus 145. Shit, I got to speed up. We're going so slow. It's just that we're so hot in MLB. I just want all the time we can to. Huh. North Ender says White Sox not being the same against left-handed pitching lately. I hear you. We've seen it. But we have a very hot bullpen in the White Sox. Minus 145 is just too much. So I'd have to take him on the -1 line. Hunter Engelhart has first half under 40, even money is the play. I like it. But I'm going to take the White Sox -1. And that's not even going to be a plus money price. But I have a rule about the VIG, and Rick the Ruler's with me. All right, let's get it. Slick Rick the Ruler. All right, let's move on. And I got to speed up. Okay, so 8:15 p.m. Eastern, we have the Dirty K prop of the day. Jose, could you pop that up for us right now? Bieber over 7.5. Bieber over 7.5 Ks at -133. This is directly from our David Sharp. Says Cards are 22nd OPS versus right-handed pitching, so Bieber should go 7+ innings, minimum 2 pitcher spots, 5 total bats at first Bieber in past. Bieber averaged 11.5 Ks in 2 NL games this year, and he likes it. Bieber over 7.5 Ks from our Dirty K prop of the day from David Sharp. We haven't hit the Angels, A's, Padres. So we must have hit the Dodgers game. What the hell's wrong with me? We hit the Walker Buehler Pirates game off the top of the show. Sorry. Okay, let's keep rolling, and I've got to speed up here because we have Mr. Gogster joining us for NHL. We got to talk NBA. Let's go. Indians 31-26, 17-14 on the road at the Cardinals, 31-29, 15-14 at home. Busch Stadium, St. Louis, Missouri, 79 Fahrenheit, light rain, 7 miles per hour, sideways. Bieber, 6-3, 3.08 ERA, 1.19 whip, 79 innings, 117 Ks, 29 walks, 9 home runs. Much love, Nate Dogg. North Ender, I think you're being too kind on that. Very, very kind words. Puzzler says, I see your points, but can't go against the Jays now. Most games in lineup can get the most pitchers. I agree. Look, this was not part of the plan. I just think this is a very reasonable price for the Cy Young winner in the AL if the award was given out today. That's all. That's my thought process here. Glenn Man says Cardinals lost 5 in a row. Notice we have not been talking about what happened yesterday or the day before, except for travel issues. That's something that Gas Station Sushi has instilled in us. But it's important stuff. I get it, Glenn. Carlos Martinez, 3-5, 5.83 ERA, 1.24 whip, 54 innings, 31 Ks, 20 walks, 3 home runs. This is the situation that we were talking about with David Peterson. Last start, he only goes 2/3 of an inning. 6 hits, 10 earned runs, 0 home runs, 4 walks, 1 K in the 14-3 loss of the Dodgers. He looked terrible. Indians rating just 221, 667 OPS versus righties. And Cardinals versus righties, 226, 674 OPS. Wyatt Chapman says, what's your $500 free play? That would need some considerable time to just sit with for a second. So if you could give me a little bit more time on that, I just can't just fire that out. So we have Molina out of the lineup for Sunday's game against the Reds. He's got a knee issue. He's expected to avoid a trip on the 10-day IL, but Carlos Martinez is going to want him behind. He's going to want that battery in place, and if it's not, it's going to be a tough spot for Martinez. This total opened up at 7.5, juice to the under. Pinnacle moved it to 7. What's that tell you? It tells you that Martinez is going to bounce back. Cleveland opens up at -171. They're now at -160. So there's been an 11-cent move towards the underdog. Why? Let's first go to baseball data and see that only 2 batters have faced Bieber. They're 2 for 5 against them with the double. I mean, small sample size. Against Martinez, they're 6 for 23, 261, 726 OPS. The market here has even distribution. 49% of the tickets are on the Cardinals, 56% of the cash. Isn't that surprising? And look at the total. 60% of the tickets and 77% on the cash on the over, and yet it's just dropped a half run. Very, very much love, North Ender. It is very, very peculiar information. And it would be hard for me to sit back and have a ton of confidence on the Indians whom, if you look at the numbers, how would you not want to be on them? Very, very interesting. Robert Cherry is Bryce Harper plus 390 potential check of the day. 3 and 7, but with heavy plus odds, I'm up. Yeah, absolutely. Why? Oh, why? Let's go. Okay. All right. So no move for me there. We move on to 9:38 p.m. Eastern. Kansas City Royals 29-29, 13-14 on the road at the Los Angeles Angels, 28-32, 16-16 at home. Angel Stadium in Anaheim, California. 57 Fahrenheit clear, 14 miles per hour out to left center. We got Bubic going up against Heaney. Lefties squaring off. Bubic 1-0, 2.12 ERA, 1.26 WHIP, 34 innings, 28 Ks, 16 walks, 2 home runs. In his last start, he went 4 1/3, allowed 8 hits, 4 runs, 3 of them earned, 1 home run, 2 walks in 6 Ks and a 6-5 win at home over the Twins. He did not look very good. Heaney, 3-3, 4.76 ERA, 1.24 WHIP, 62 Ks and 51 innings, 17 walks, 9 home runs. I never know. I never know when Heaney's going to be lights out or when he's going to be a bum. He's a very tricky pitcher to figure out. Coming off a great start against the Giants, 6 1/3, 5 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk, 7 Ks, and 8-1 win there. Royals versus lefties, 245, 683 OPS. Angels versus lefties, 238, 719 OPS. Royals bullpen is improving, 3.94 ERA, 1.35 WHIP, 14 of 22 converted save opportunities. Angels bullpen 4.89 ERA, 1.43 WHIP, converted 13 of 22 save opportunities. The Royals just placed their shortstop Adalberto Mondesi on the 10-day IL with a left hamstring strain. When we go to baseball data, the Angels have not seen Bubic, and the Royals are hitting 188 with a 485 OPS against Heaney, and I don't trust Heaney. It's tricky. And then we go to the market move. Heaney opening up at minus 132. He's now minus 157. A 25-cent move towards the Angels. This total's gone from 9 to 8.5 at many books, although Pinnacle's still hanging the 9. And then we go to where the money's at here. And where are you? There we go. We have 35% of the tickets, just 35% of the tickets on the Angels and 67% of the cash. So some big bets coming in on the Angels and Heaney. Big bets. And Heaney gets these guys out, and they're not going to have Adalberto Mondesi at shortstop. Well, it sort of feels like a spot where we should agree that Bubic is going to get touched, but I like Bubic. But maybe there's some tape on him now. And maybe I have to back Heaney, but I would have to take the -0.5, and it'd be tons of juice on it. Let's just see what that juice would be very quickly. That is a alternate 5 innings line -0.5 at -120. That's probably the spot. Hunter Engelhardt says Heaney's a bum, especially at home. Sharpie says, so the cash. No, there's a huge move, Sharpie. 25-cent move at Pinnacle towards the Angels. Huge move. Whew. Look, I first 5 -0.5 on the Angels. I understand here why this may be a massive mistake, but I just feel like the market's telling me that Heaney's going to have another nice start. You have an Astros team without Mondesi, who helps so much defensively. I'm going to move on it. Angels first half -0.5 at -120. That's an addition. And the White Sox is an addition as well. All right, we got 2 games left, and I got to go fast here. 9:40 p.m. Arizona Diamondbacks 20-41, 9-25 on the road at Oakland A's, 35-26, 17-17 at home. Oakland Coliseum in Oakland, California. Thank you, Kyle Hintley, my man. It's great to have you rolling with us. I moved on the A's -1.5 at -105. It was interesting. At Bet365, the A's were at -210. They moved to -220, but the run line moved from -110 to -105. And maybe that should have given me a red flag, but I think that John Duplantier is vulnerable here. 57 Fahrenheit, 14 miles per hour to left center. He's not looked good this year. He went up against the Braves, a team that doesn't hit righties, and he lasted 4 innings, 4 hits, 5 runs, 3 home runs, allowed 3 walks, 3 Ks. He's a big boy. He's a young kid with potential, but he's overthinking things. And Bassett is coming off a tough start at the Mariners, but he pitches well at home, and he is lights out against this ball club. But this year he's been good. 5-2, 3.53 ERA, 1.044 WHIP. I felt like the first 5 -0.5 was too costly if I have such an advantage in the bullpen, and the A's bullpen's been very good of late. 3.88 ERA, 1.29 WHIP. The D-backs bullpen is absolute trash. 4.73 ERA, 1.46 WHIP. We've seen this A's. The A's are minus 220, by the way, first 5. It's the same as what they are full game. The A's full game have gone from minus 195 to minus 212. So we've seen a 17-cent move towards them at Pinnacle. And we have Oakland taking 83% of the tickets and 87% of the cash. So Johnny Case, I don't know, feels like a trap. I believe he's referring to this. Kyle Hintley is on A's run line and A's money line. I think this is a get right spot bought for Bassett. And just very quickly on the baseball data, he's incredible here in this spot. Bassett, 180. They're hitting 180 with a 589 OPS off him in 61 at bat. So it's not like the sample size is small. They're 11 for 61. So there's Diesel says Hope Lobagalin. See, Diesel is an OG. Yes. Our man Q's daughter, Lobagalin. Okay, so I moved on the A's minus 1.5 and minus 105 before I came on. Let's just see what it is right now out of my own curiosity, if that has moved at all here. And it's moved back to minus 110. Okay, so that makes me feel better. All right, we move on to the very last spot, and that's the Cubs at Padres, Petco Park in San Diego, California. I want to fade Zach Davies badly. 65 Fahrenheit, partly cloudy, 9 miles per hour, sideways in. Davies 2 and 3, 4.94 ERA, 1.68 WHIP, 54 and 2/3, 33 Ks, 29 walks, 4 home runs. In his last start, he got beat up at the Giants, 4 1/3, 8 hits, 4 earned runs, 2 walks, 4 Ks, and a 7-2 loss. He's a tricky pitcher to figure out because you use the eye test and you're like, look, give me a bat. I could hit this guy. Dinelson Lamet, 1-0, 2.50 ERA, 1.44 WHIP, 18 innings, 21 Ks, 7 walks, 1 home run allowed. In his last start, it was at the Cubs, and he got really unlucky. I don't know if you guys watched that game, but he looked good. He was going up against Adalbert Alzolay, and he looked good. 4 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk, 6 Ks, and he just had some bad luck. Cubs are hitting 231, 706 versus righties. Padres are hitting 238, 710 OPS versus righties. Both bullpens are probably the best in the league. Arthur says Davies 4-0 all-time versus the Padres. By the way, Javi Baez was held out of the starting lineup due to a bruised right thumb. He's hoping to be back in the lineup tonight. That was yesterday. Jock Peterson is dealing with a back injury. He's not being put on the IL, but he's not in the lineup either. Let's go to market moves and then figure out whether we pull the trigger here on the Padres who want revenge. And it's too late. Missed a chance. Open up at minus 157, now at minus 185. His total's gone from 7.5 to 8.5. Should have moved on it. Against Davies, they're hitting 250 with an 814 OPS. Against Lamet, they're hitting 333 with a 936 OPS. Maybe that because something I didn't move on it for some reason. I couldn't remember what it was. Glenn man leading to the under. Sharpie says I want to back Padres, but just like yesterday, these teams seen these pitchers and they got smashed yesterday, second time in 1 week. No move for me. All right, that concludes MLB. We're going to move on to NBA right now, and then NHL. We'll have Mr. Gogster joining us for NHL. Let's review the action, and let's talk about the bets that we made pre-show and the bets that we've added. Well, they're not bets yet, but the moves we've added that I will bet when the show's over. Pre-show, over 8.5 at minus 120 in Braves, Phillies. And then there were 3 moves that I made pre-show. I moved on the Orioles first 5 at plus 100 and the A's minus 1.5 at minus 105. There weren't a bunch of additions for me. The additions that I have moved on, and I'm very interested in the taint play of the day, which is Astros full game money line. I'm very interested in the dirty K prop. I'm very interested in Jose's K prop. We'll go over both of those. But what I did add was I added, and Jose is glass now, over 7.5 Ks at minus 112. And I did add the White Sox against my Blue Jays. I just think it's a very nice price for the Cy Young Award winner. I'm taking the White Sox minus 1. But I should probably focus on the first 5. You know, I think maybe looking back at that's a mistake. That even though this White Sox bullpen has been so good lately, it's the Jays lineup that I'm most worried about. So why would I give the Jays 9 innings to beat me? If I'm already looking for the minus 1 to tie for a push, let's just see what I get on the first 5 minus 0.5. Minus 115. That's what I should do. That's what I should do. Hunter says exactly. So I'm going to change that. So that's going to be a White Sox first 5 minus 0.5 at minus 115. Okay. Why it says look yourself in the mirror, take the J's, baby. Puzzler says I like first five better. Okay, the dirty K prop is Bieber over 7.5 Ks and minus 133, which I find interesting. I got to see the juice associated in my book. And then I'm moving on the Angels, first five minus a half at minus 120. The market's moving me in that direction, and I agree with it. I agree with it the way he needs pitching, and I know he's a Jekyll and Hyde type pitcher. There you go. We've hit 19 of our last 21 in MLB. Those of you joining us for the first time, I can't promise you wins. All I can promise you is honesty, transparency, and this last winning streak, as glorious as it is, it came on the heels of quite a big losing streak, but it feels like we're really sharpening up how we do things. So I feel like we'll continue with our glory. Okay. And Hunter says also take that first half under. All right, let's move on to NBA right now. We start at 7:30 p.m. Eastern semifinals. Jose, could you send the link over to our man, Mr. Gogster, for our NHL breakdown? East semifinals game 2. Atlanta leads the series 1-0. The Hawks are 41-31, 16-20 on the road at the Sixers, 49-23, 29-7 at home during the regular season. We're at Wells Fargo Center. I moved on the Sixers first quarter at -2 and -115, and I'm not sitting here enormously confident. Let me just leave it at that. Hawks, we're going to talk pace right now. Let's start with pace. The Hawks pace. Actually, why don't we talk about where the total is first to give it some context. Here we go. Spreads and totals. We're going to be using Pinnacle again as our opener. We have this total opening up at 223. It's now at 224. And Philadelphia opening up at -5.5, now at -6. Some books have moved it to 6.5. In the regular season, the Hawks played at a 98.68 possessions a game pace. That slowed down in the playoffs, 96.92. Obviously, part of that reason is they're playing the New York Knicks. The pace in the Game 1 Hawks Sixers was alarmingly fast. And I can't imagine the Sixers want to do that again. I can't. 107 possessions a game. The Hawks have sharpshooters. They have Trae Young running everything. I can't imagine they're going to want to play at that speed. Sixers' regular season pace was faster than the Hawks, 100.12 possessions a game. In the playoffs, they're the fastest pace in the league at 103.33. Okay. Why don't we just talk a couple of the important points and hear what the chat is saying? Yes, Kev, the only additions just go to my Twitter at Jimmy the Bag. They have my first 3 bets. And the only 2 additions I made were White Sox first 5 -0.5 and Angels first 5 -0.5 at -115 and -120 respectively. In Atlantis, 128-124 Game 1 victory. Trae Young, first player in franchise history to go for 35-10 in a playoff game. We know Trae Young. He wants the moment. He wants the pressure. The guy's a baller. And it's impossible not to love it. 30.2 points per game, 9.8 assists running through the playoffs. We know he gets told all the time that Luka is better than him. And he's loving this opportunity to show up. Bogdanovich, John Collins both go for 21, Herter 15, Capella 11 and 10, and they won without DeAndre Hunter, who's questionable for game 2. Kevin Riley says Philly rolls. Danny A says Trae Young over 3's prop. We're going to take a look at that. Noli knows, yes, it's my first time. It's my first time, but it might have to be shaved quickly if the Avalanche don't succeed. Okay. Noli knows, spectacular MLB capper, whom I miss capping with enormously. So, look, the Hawks have all the momentum and none of the pressure. And it makes them very, very dangerous. They're 32-12 under McMillan. And what went wrong for the Sixers? Well, look, I love Doc Rivers, but he just doesn't make adjustments fast enough. And the pace was too fast for the Sixers team. Embiid goes for 39 and 9. Seth goes for 21. Tobias goes for 20 and 10. Simmons goes for 17 and 10. And you lose and you're down 20 at one point. Sixers committed 19 turnovers. They have to slow down the pace. Polo, this has Atlanta to win series at plus 120. We'll give Brooklyn competition in the Eastern Conference Final, excuse me. Wyatt says Atlanta sports are notorious for making it far and choking. They'll take this series, then they're done. And Johnny K likes the under. So let's take a look and see where the cash is in this spot. And we get a really nice look in NBA because we have a way more amount of tickets that we can look at. So for this Hawks Sixers, we're looking at 16,200 tickets, which is great. So on the spread, 61% of the tickets on the Sixers, 76% of the cash, market moving in their direction. On the money line, which isn't as important here, so we can just focus on the spread. But money line's even more on the Sixers, obviously. But a lot of that, big bets made because that's a lot of juice. In the total here, 67% of the tickets are on the over and 86% of the cash is on the under, and it's going up. What does that tell you? That the Sixers have to slow down the pace if they want to win, and this game should go under. This game's got to go under the. Wow. Very, very, very interesting. Well, I'm already on the first quarter -2 at -115. I did not want to double up on the Sixers because the Hawks are just playing without any stress. And I think that the under has got to be the spot here. So I'm going to move on the full game under. Danny A says it's going to go under because Simmons can't shoot for ish. I mean, if they can't, if Simmons can't hit a free throw shot, look, it's an Achilles heel. And then, is this a spot where you would prefer a first half under rather than full game? Let's quickly look at the player props here. So 224 is the first half look, is the full game look, and then 114 is the first half look. God, Sixers got to slow it down. They got to slow it down. And then when we go to player props, Trae Young's at 27.5. He had been at 25.5 consistently. Now he's at 27.5. Seth Curry's at 13.5. Seth Curry hasn't gone under that since I lost a total on him. And Embiid's at 29.5, heavily juiced to the over. Very, very interesting game. I can't wait to watch it. So the props associated with player props, Bet365, they just destroy you. So I'm not going to move on anything there. There's Dennis Trusty under Embiid, 29.5 points. And Brian Warner says, oh my God, yes. Danny A says 114. That first half under is a good look. That first half might be the better look. I've got to decide between the full game under and the first half under, and I don't want to hum and haw. I want to talk hockey with Gogster. I'm going to be moving on the under. I have to make a decision about the first half and the full game. So let's just quickly on the total for 86% of the cash, full game on the under. Let's just take a look at that first half very quickly. And it's all on the under. It's very strange. All on the under at this point. I need more time. on that. Southtown 101. The bar I will be driving to as soon as the border opens up and stopping along the way at all the low baggers on the way down and getting drunk and betting on horses with them. Southtown 101 says each team to score over 20.5 in each quarter is even money. Well, that makes me think the under is going to cash. Brian Warner says Philly coming out strong but will slow. Okay, I can't. We need to talk NHL. So let's get into this incredible game one here. 10 p.m. Eastern, West semifinals. LA Clippers 47-25, 21-15 on the road at the Jazz. They were 31-5 at home this year. Vivint Smart Home Arena. Start with pace, and let's get context here with the market. So this total opened up at 221.5. Pinnacles moved it down a full point to 220.5, and Utah sitting firm at -4 full game. Pace. The Clippers' regular season was at 97.63 possessions a game. In the playoffs, they've slowed way down to 92.86 possessions a game, but their efficiency has been very high. Regular season for the Jazz, 99.37, and now they're at 100. The big question, Johnny K says Jazz smash spot. The big question is the most important key is rest. The Jazz just had 5 days of rest. Does that make Michael Conley available? He was able to participate in practice after hurting his hamstring in Game 5 against the Grizzlies last week. He's extremely important to this game. It's very difficult to judge pace when you don't have Conley in the lineup because if he's not there, the ball is going to be in either Mitchell's hand, which is high speed, or slow-mo Joe Ingles' hand, which is going to be very slow. And it adds another layer of confusion. So it's very important to know what the hell's going on with Conley. So we have the two teams with the highest three-point shooting percentage. So even though we're going to expect a slower pace, We know it's going to be nonstop threes. That throws another wrench into a plan for a total. The Clippers shot an NBA best 41.1% during the regular season. The Jazz finished fourth at 38.9%. But remember, the Jazz had the league high 16.7 made threes in comparison to the Clippers, who are sixth. Donovan Mitchell rolling right now. And then you have to ask your question in figuring out strategy. Are the Clippers and Ty Lue going to go to small ball that worked well against the Mavs? Are they going to go down to small ball? And we know that Ibaka is doubtful for the season opener with the back ailment. And then Cousins, no one wants to see Cousins out there. So it's Lee Fedorchak is on Utah first half. Arthur Meade Jr.'s Jazz first quarter under. North Ender says Jazz are a different animal with Mitchell. Wyatt says Clippers are sloppy, lazy, and streaky. Well, and efficient. Very efficient. Michael Irvelinas on Jazz first quarter -2, first half -2.5, and full game -3.5. Clips are tired, and after a giant win, it's come down time. See, that's one thing that I'm not sure about. Now, they are going into the thin air. So it's going to be very tough. And you have to think if the Clippers buckle under that it'll be late. It'll be in the third quarter or the fourth quarter. GG says Kawhi in 6. Wow. At this point, I've got no move in Clippers Jazz. I can't wait to watch it. But I have no move at this point. I need to know what's going on with Conley. And I guess we expect Conley in the lineup. See, Trusty says, I think Clippers come in really hot. I think Clippers early is very nice. But I do need to know about Conley. And that, even though the money line has hurt me with pushes before, plus 130 on the Clippers first quarter money line. Billy Pilgrim says, Jazz lost first game to Grizz, won't happen again. Yeah, I get it. No, I do not want to see Dame in the Clipper uniform next year. I don't. Steve Zhang says, make a move or call Frankie. Steve Zhang, I'm going to need to know exactly what's going on with Conley. So I guess we all expect him in the lineup. So I'm leaning towards Clippers early. So my lean is Clippers first quarter. And I may make a move on that soon. All right, it's time for NHL. Let's bring in our NHL expert, Belleville, Ontario's finest, Mr. Gogster in the house. Gogster, what's happening, man?
Yo, what's going on, Indiana Jim there? You look like Indiana Jones with that beard, Jim. I love it.
Thanks, buddy. Well, might all be for naught. We only have 15 minutes, so let's get right into it. Let's talk Central Round 2, Game 5. Tampa Bay leading the series 3-1. Lightning were just 15-10-3 on the road this year. The Hurricanes were awesome at home, 23-5. We're at PNC Arena in Raleigh, North Carolina. I have a bunch of stats to fire out here, but the most important issue is I just realized that I didn't look at the market move and didn't see where the cash was in that Clippers Jazz game. So 66% of the tickets on the Jazz and just 35%. Oh, no, that's spread. Yeah, 65 and 66. Okay, that makes sense. And then the total, 69% of the tickets on the over, but 44% of the cash on the over. Interesting. Okay, Let's get over here in the NHL right now. We have Carolina opening up at -100. They're now at plus 108. Market move towards the Lightning, Mr. Gogster. We go to totals. We see this total opening up at -129 to the under. It's now just -116 to the under. So, and also there's a thought that there may be goals. Okay, I'm going to break down a bunch of stuff, but the main thing is, look, I don't want to look in Rod Brind'Amour's face and question what he's doing. But I know that Mrazek can't get the job done when it counts, and that's why I didn't make future bets on the Hurricanes this year. Then they get Nedeljkovic, who looks like the real deal, and he's pulled.
I didn't like the look on the road too. Mrazek, he has really good numbers this year, Jim. He's 5-0 at home with a .94 save percentage, 1.67 goals against. He's a home goalie. Both these guys are Ned and Mrazek. I'd take either or in this game, to be honest, Jim. And I think Nedeljkovic is going to get the nod. Brind'Amour didn't want to say. He's kind of like, hey, guys, you just leave it upon yourselves, make up your own imagination. But he did say Trocheck and Niederreiter are looking like they're going to be in. They skated yesterday, and it looks like both of them are going to be playing. And Fogel's 50-50. So they're getting some players back, Carolina.
Well,
more than likely. Not 100% confirmed yet, guys, but I listened to some pressers there, and Brendan Moore's leaning towards them playing.
I expect Niederreiter to be in. So we know that he practiced and looked good. It was left wing with on the third line with Martinook and Nichus. And he scored 20 goals in 56 games this year. Aho led the team with 24, and he's a big body you need in front of that. Very important. Trocheck is so important, and they need him back. 43 points in 47 games. He does everything.
He's a beast. There's a reason why they got him, too, for like nothing from Florida, right? They got him like as a just signed him as a waiver. You know, what a pickup they had. I think he's only on a 1-2-year contract, too, but Trocheck's a great guy to have on your team in the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, he was a trade deadline acquisition, right, last year.
Oh, was that it? Okay.
Or was it 2 years? Well, it was trade deadline acquisition the year where he was coming back from injury, and I loved it. And part of the reason why I was against Florida this year was I was like, are you telling me Wenberg's going to be able to replace Trocheck? So
Duclair, yeah.
So this is very, very interesting. Fogel is important to the squad. 10 goals, 10 assists.
Young guy, yeah.
But these guys are probably not playing at 100% even if they're back, except for Niederreiter, who supposedly is very close to 100%. We have this power play for the Tampa Bay Lightning with Kucherov on it, hitting at 41.2%.
Just unbelievable. Unbelievable.
And the Canes, special teams, which are so good during the regular season, are struggling in playoffs. 20% power play, which is fine, but just 77.5% penalty killing. Let's see where the cash is, and then let's hear how Gogster plans on getting paid here in this spot. In 4,800 tickets, we have 53% of the tickets on the Lightning, 55% of the cash, 52% of the tickets on the over, and just 19% of the cash on the over. Wow.
All that cash on the under, I love it.
But the market is moving towards the over. Wow.
That's a head scratcher, isn't it?
The market is asking for you to bet the over when all the money's on the under.
Yep.
Ooh-wee. Gogster, what are your moves?
Yeah, so I'm with the market and the unders. I'm going no goal first 9 minutes, 30 seconds here, guys. Coming back home. Tampa Bay didn't look good in their first 2 games. Jim, not that they didn't look good. They just didn't have chances. 2.35 expected goals, 1.3. They did get 2 goals by them, but it was Carolina that were the better of the 2 teams there at home. 2.76 goals against, expected goals against, and 3.02. So Carolina definitely are looking like the better of the 2 teams. Vasilevsky, guys, he's not the same. As much as we've kind of hit spots when he's at home, when to fade him and when not to fade him. He's 13-8 on the road this year. That's during the regular season, but he's definitely not as good on the road. I do expect Carolina to put a better foot forward here, but both teams just don't give each other any space to work with the puck. So a lot of dump and chases, I think, is going to happen, similar to the last couple games. And in these games, too, guys, all 4 have gone to the under, Jim. There has been 1 first period over in these first 4 games. So I'm going with the first period under and no goal in the first 9 minutes, 30 seconds. I think it's going to be a very similar situation. You got Niederreiter and Trocheck back. I don't expect them to make as much of an impact early. As the game goes on, it could get a little dicey, especially if Carolina is down. They got to pull the goalie. That's why I don't like the full game over. But early on, I think no goal first 9 minutes, 30 seconds, first period under 1.5, and I lean towards Carolina to score first. But I don't know. I'm really close to playing that too, Jim. I think Carolina is going to put their best foot forward, and it's going to be similar to the last game, guys. Tampa Bay, they get a power play. If you look actually in this series, they're 57% penalty kill against Tampa Bay, Carolina, and 42% power play for Tampa Bay. So they can't go on the penalty kill. Carolina, I expect this to be a really tight game, just like the other 4 have been.
Very, very, very interesting breakdown. Johnny K says, I think Carolina jumps on an early and often blowout city. I'm leaning towards that first period under 1.5 as well.
Yeah, I got that at minus 122, guys.
Yeah, it's available at minus 120 right now at Bet 365. I think that's a really good look.
They haven't gone over at all. There's been, I think, 2 goals in the first 4 games in the first period. 2 of them have gone scoreless, so I like the look, guys. And
the way this game goes over is it's 3-1. If it's 2-1 going into the third, the Lightning make it 3-1 or vice versa, and the goalie's pulled with 3 minutes left, especially if the Lightning are ahead. because if they're down 3-1, they'll pull the goalie with 4 minutes left.
Yeah, nothing to lose. They're just going to empty the kitchen sink. That's right. Yeah.
We got Young Suave in the house. Thanks for joining us. Slats 45 is saying, what jersey you wearing?
We got it's always the Jets guys. For a guy that worked at a sports store, I don't know why I didn't get more hockey jerseys, Jim. I got football, I got basketball, but I'm slacking on the I was supposed to wear the Montreal hoodie, wasn't I? I'll wear that for tomorrow's show. I'll get the Montreal hoodie out.
Glenn Elliott, man, and a couple other guys looking at that going to overtime. I want to get into the next game badly, but what do you think of the plus 310 for going to overtime?
I actually, the next game is where the overtime is going to be my look, guys. This one, it's going to be interesting as the game goes on. I really like the no goals early, but Carolina, they're gonna push as hard as they can, and if they start getting, what I see happening, guys, is Carolina's going to be up, and then Tampa Bay is going to put the foot on the gas, and then they're going to take a penalty. Carolina, they're going to score Tampa Bay. It's going to start going back and forth as the game goes on, I think. So you know what, OT could be a look, but I think Carolina can win this game, and I think they lose it in Game 6. That would be my look there.
Well, let's go to the game that means an enormous amount to my next 2 months of life.
Yeah, this has just been a real roller coaster.
The total on this Vegas-Colorado game opened at 5.5 minus 113 to the under. It's now minus 120, so a 7-cent move towards the under. From a money line perspective, Colorado opening up at minus 145. They're now at minus 147. Very curious to see where the cash is here. We have 59% of the tickets.
That would be on Colorado.
59% of the tickets, 78% of the cash. So why is the market not moving more than 2 cents?
Mm-hmm.
And then from a total perspective, you have 59% of the tickets on the over and 67% of tickets on the over, and you have a 10-cent move towards the under. Mixed messages. Okay, here we go. The Knights were 19-9 on the road this year in the regular season. The Avalanche were 22-4-2 at home. We're at Ball Arena. The Knights' power play and special teams are still poor. That has not changed. 15.4% power play, 73.1% penalty killing. The Avs' special teams are still strong. 40.7% power play, 80% penalty killing. Now, I can give some stats here quickly. This team is 4-0. The Avs 4-0 in the postseason so far. They've won 13 straight at home.
Yeah, at home they're just another animal. 7-1 in the first period, 4 goals against.
The Avalanche were 22-4-2 at Ball Arena, and 2 of the losses were to the Golden Knights. The Golden Knights became only the 4th NHL team all time to win trying to become the 4th team all time to win a best 7 series against the league's top seeded team after losing the first 2 games. Happened in 62 against Chicago, 62 against Montreal. Chicago did it in 65 against Detroit, and then the Bruins did it to my knuckleheads when we lit the city on fire. Not we, when they. Look, that upset me. I don't want when people came in from Surrey and lit the city on fire. McKinnon, Landeskog, Rantanen were stopped at home, and Marchessault, Carlson, and Riley Smith were magical. It just feels like we've seen the story before. These guys play so well together in very tough situations and step up in a big way. Mm-hmm. God, we need Nazem Kadri back so badly. And look, if I'm Bednar, I play Bowen Byram. I think the kid's magical. I think he's a stud.
3 months. He hasn't played in so long. You think he can just get right back in there, Jim, against Vegas?
I do think he's that special of a player. Now he'd be on the sixth. He'd be on the sixth
with Nemeth or Timmins. Yeah,
I think he's that special. I really do. But
you're not just saying that because he's from BC, right?
He's a Vancouver Giant too. Look, we all fell in love with him. Yeah. But I think he's a very special player. Okay, Gogster, it all happened after Game 1. Clearly the Golden Knights have been the best team. They're all over the Avalanche. Do you think the Avalanche are capable of stopping this giant run by the Knights because they're coming home?
So I listened to a really good interview before this from Bednar. I'm not a fan of this guy. He talks like he's in the library. Like he needs to wake up and talk a little bit like a man. But anyway, he was talking about pretty much the forwards need to start helping the defense. The defense have been in their own zone. They've had way too much on their shoulders, Jim. So they're going to expect a lot more forward help from this Avalanche team because they've been working. The coach said pretty much the last 2 games in Vegas, they're working way too much in their own zone. Pretty much Vegas put the own recipe that Colorado does to them. They were just flying all over the place, throwing pucks on net. And Colorado weren't getting shots to the net. Vegas were blocking a lot of shots those last couple games. So Colorado's got to come out hot. But with that being said, guys, similar to the first game, Whenever I hear a coach saying the forwards want to come back, Jim, they're going to be pinching more. That's unders right away. That means, they're going to be more defensively accountable. They can't allow 4.51 expected goals and 3.58. That's just way too much. That's just, like I said, more into the defense, too much on the goalie. And at home, this is where Colorado come to play, guys. Scored 7 goals and 3 goals. That was against Lehner in the first game, 3 against Fleury in the second. And they've only scored 1 goal in the first game, 2 in the second game, Vegas. So Vegas definitely are a different team than they are at home, just like Colorado. Both these teams, it's been 2-0 to the home teams. And I lean towards Colorado again, but I think no goal in the first 9 minutes, 30 seconds. You could say it's risky with Colorado here, guys, but Vegas, they're doing nothing wrong right now behind Fleury. Fleury's still looking really good. 5-on-5, Jim, big advantage to Vegas. That's my issue where I don't want to take Colorado, is because all of a sudden Vegas is just they're putting the recipe to them. They're higher expected goals. It's the power play that Colorado's been taking the advantage of, but they don't get those power plays. I see this being a slow game as well. No goal in the first 9 minutes, 30 seconds. And I do expect Vegas to not score more than 2.5 goals here, guys. I'm taking Vegas team total under 2.5. That's at -106. The way Vegas has been playing at home and the way the way Colorado's been playing at home, guys, and the way Vegas has been on the road, it's a different beast. Both teams are just so good at home and so much different on the road. Much better defensively. You have also the best home goalie here in the regular season, Grubauer, and the best road goalie in Fleury. So you have 2 of the best goalies going here in the situational stats. Tight game, and I think Colorado are going to come out on top, and this is going to go 7 games.
It better go 7 games or no Nazem Kadri in this series.
Yeah, he's got 2 more.
Do you think Nazem Kadri can change the 5-on-5 play in this series?
I didn't watch many of his games, but thinking back to Toronto, Kadri, yeah, he can. He's always right in front of the net, right? He's kind of a guy at the right place at the right time. They need to start getting more pucks through Colorado. They won't even get to see Kadri. The issue was the last couple of games, they weren't getting the pucks to the net. They got to start putting more on Fleury, more in the Vegas defense, because it's been way too easy the last 2 games. 2.15 expected goals and 1.71 on the road for Colorado. That's not like them. I expect a much better performance from Colorado, but with the defensive help that the coach has been preaching from the forwards, don't see this being a high, flashy game early. I think this is going to be a tight game.
Slatsy and Birdie are on the over, and
I hear that. And there's been none of these games have been less than 5 goals. But Colorado has only allowed 1 goal in all 4 games in the playoffs at home. So they know how to come out strong in the first period. I also lean towards a Vegas team total under in the first period. That's at plus money.
See, I want to bet Colorado first period, but I also don't want to put myself in a situation where I'm compounding any kind of losses because of my future bets. So
I wouldn't talk you off that, though, Jimmy. 7-1. This is when Colorado come to play in the first period. Only issue is it's Fleury's. He's been unbelievable in the regular season. This is the best goalie. He's 4-3 against Vegas, against Colorado this year. He's 4-3 with a .932 save percentage. So he's a solid goalie. It's tough. I just expect a much better performance from Colorado here, guys. Tight early, similar to the Carolina game, and Colorado to come out on top. This could go to overtime, 2-2, 1-1. I expect a lot tighter game here, guys.
And again, we have 59% of the tickets and 67% of the cash on the under in this spot. And excuse me, sorry. 59% of the tickets and 67% of the cash on the over, and yet it's gone under by about 8 cents, a market move. Very, very interesting. It feels like the under is the spot. Wow.
I can't. Just both these goalies and what I'm hearing from Bednar, guys. Colorado expect I have a hard time seeing Vegas scoring 3 goals. I really do. That's one of the plays I really like as well. Vegas team total under 2.5 -106.
Wild. And if the Avs were to go up in the first period, I wouldn't be sitting there confident because Vegas just keeps taking too much. All right, we got to go. Big show over on our channel right now. Babano and CMAC breaking down MLB. Can you quickly review your NHL action and then let's us out of here?
Yeah, we'll do the world famous Leche, guys. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. We'll be back tomorrow. We'll have the Montreal sweater on. And recap here, Tampa Bay, Carolina, no goal first 9 minutes, 30 seconds, -105. First period under 1.5, -120, and lean towards Carolina score first. Game number 2, 9 p.m., Vegas, Colorado. I'm taking no goal first 9 minutes, 30 seconds, +105. Vegas team total under 2.5, -106. Lean towards Vegas team total under 0.5 first period as well.
I love it. Thank you guys all so much for your support. Let's keep winning. We need the cash. We need to improve our lives.
Tell me about it.
Gogster,
have more money for that trip down south.
Yeah, man. We'll talk. We got lots of great ideas coming up. Thank you to everybody who supported the show today and throughout our existence. And shout out to Pub Sports Radio. Can you let us out of here, Gogster?
As always, guys, get that cash, and always Leche, Elos, bookmakers.
Get that cash.
Where's the bang bang, Preston? Come on.
I can't breathe.
Pub Sports Radio. Come find us in Southtown 101. Subscribe on YouTube and all platforms where podcasts are found.